Z121 Intro, direction est normal à respirer. La voiture Juniper B725, Napadogan Sub.
This rainy Saturday morning, July 20th, 2025, has found Kesrael fanning trackside in Juniper, New Brunswick, at the Southwest Road crossing, mile 122.21 Napadogan Sub. What made us crawl out of a warm bed real early to drive and stand in the rain? Well, honestly, stupidity. But we rail fans like a challenge, and the prospect of being able to catch an eastbound potash train, who, a few moments ago, called a signal approaching the west end of the siding at Juniper. And we can also catch the regular Z121 with a very nice and relatively newly rebuilt SD75 IACC leading. Oh, and 121 also having GECX 2040 in the contest, that would just be a bit of extra added spice.
Direction est normal à Western Juniper, Juniper.
The friendly crew on CMB 730 is now at the west end of Juniper, but the signal 1222 is still red. Well, let's just step back a bit and see how we got here, as they say. Around that 6:35 hours Atlantic time, the RTC called and confirmed with 730 that the meet with 121 would be at Napadogan, about 16 miles further east, and moments later, signal 1222 indicated a clear signal. So, based on this, Kesrael fanning got set up and ready for a track speed shot at 7:30 in the rain. With everything all set up and waiting quietly, the scanner comes alive again around not 6:50 hours Atlantic time, as the RTC is calling 730 and then 121. Plans have now changed to a meet at Juniper. 121 would have been close to Napadogan at this time, and with 730 still about 40 minutes out, plans changed. Signal 1222 flipped back to red, and the switch was now lined for the siding. Yes, 121 would be passing 730 via the siding. But 121 is a priority train, is it not? Well, yes it is, but the heavyweight 730 is allergic to the lighter rails found in the siding. Potash cars are short, about 47 feet, and when loaded, like now, will max out for a weight with about 100 metric ton of potash per car. That is a lot of weight over a short span. Last time I had heard a 730 had taken the siding was several years ago, and maintenance crews had to come out and fix a broken rail before it could depart. Today's 730 has CN 3175 and 3152 on the head end, and 131 cars back. On the rear are 3088 and 3188. About 59 cars or so were left behind, along with 2 units in Edmundston. 730 was likely shortened to be able to meet 121, and it was rumored also that Moncton and St. John were full of cars, and there was not much room for more. We will jump ahead a bit as the friendly crew on 730, who, I have been told, are also really awesome, will slow roll to keep the crossing open as long as possible. So enjoy. 730 has finally come to a stop, and in a bit 121 will be along, and while the rain has stopped, we really do not want the sun to come out, as we're not in the right spot if it does.
121, CN 8331, you got a restricting signal on you.
121's friendly crew, who no one has told me whether they're awesome or not, but likely are, had called a restricting signal to enter the siding at Juniper a few minutes ago. Leading is the previously mentioned newly rebuilt and very shiny SD75 IACC CN 8331, GECX 2040, not many of them left, CN 3220, and mid DPU 3034. 121 is a bit smaller than normal today, but with a 10 mile per hour speed limit for the siding, it will still be a long time passing. The conductor from 730 is on the ground now and is ready to inspect the south side of 121 as it passes.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Napadogan 120. No alarms. Temperature 13C. Total axles 480. Speed 33. Détecteur RCN Napadogan 120. Aucun problème. Température 1,3. C. Total. Essieu 4,8,0. Vitesse 3,3.
730 121, over.
731 or 730, sorry, go ahead.
Good inspection here, providing a Juniper, over.
Good inspection for the 730 at Juniper. Thank you. Then watching you, how many cars are left, what's that? To the light?
One car, about one car to the light, over.
Okay, 1 car to the light. Thank you very much. inspection both sides.
That's an eyeball both sides, Juniper. Thanks, guys. Have a safe trip. 121 out.
You guys also.
As the tail end of 121 disappeared, 730 gives 121 a good inspection on both sides. With the connector back on board, 730 is now ready for the light to depart. They just need the light.
.121 CN 8331 approaching milepost 125 Napadogan Sub, no restrictions.
Well, at least 121 is getting somewhere. And after a bit of a wait, the RTC finally gives 730 the light to depart.
Bien, c'est ça, donc, sur des 75 sélections. C'est normal, c'est Juniper.
Well, it took a while, but 7:30 is finally clear of Juniper. The siding at Juniper is listed as being 6,645 feet long, and as 121 confirmed, 7:30 was in the clear by just one car. Tight squeeze. Despite the heavy weight, it doesn't take long for 7:30 to be back up to speed, and they will soon be clearing the mile 120 hotbox detector, so we will include the report at the end. For us, this was exciting, as this was our first Juniper Meet the Witness, so we hope you enjoyed this great video of CN B730 meeting Z121, cleared by a car in Juniper. Thank you for watching, and until we meet for our next adventure with Kez Rail Fanny, we hope everyone is having a safe and wonderful day.
CN detector, Napadogan 120. No alarms. Temperature 13C. Total axles 548. Speed 34. Détecteur RCN, Napadogan 120. Aucun problème. Température 1,3 C. Total essieu 5, 4, 8.